Watch out for those sneaky little thoughts. This will help you to identify some sneaky little thoughts that get into your head and cause problems for you. Let's identify 7 of those and some possible replacements. I'm Dr. Paul Jenkins, a professional psychologist. I've made thinking my entire career, studying and coaching people about how to operate the equipment of their own mind. And there are some sneaky little thoughts, like this one. I don't have time. Sneaky! Here's why that thought is so sneaky. It's not true. I don't have time. Look, we've all got the same amount of time. 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. We've all got the same amount of time. The question is, how are we spending our time? So how do we counteract that sneaky little thought? Instead of saying, I don't have time, what if we were to say, how will I choose to spend my time? Take responsibility for it. It's kind of like when a good friend calls you up and says, hey, can you go to lunch? And the sneaky little thought is, oh, I'd love to, but I don't have time. You know what? It would be more true to say, look, there's other things I'm planning to do that are more important to me than going to lunch with you. But that's rude, so we never say that. I just want you to pull it into your thoughts that sneaky little thought, I don't have time, we'll replace it with, how am I choosing to spend my time? And then be more intentional about it. Here's another one. I just don't see how I can, whatever, fill in the blanks. Sneaky! That's a sneaky one too, because some of the things that we want to do or that we've told ourselves we're going to do or that we've invited ourselves to take on, we haven't done before. And so we haven't seen ourselves doing it before, and it's tempting to think, well, I just don't see how that's going to be done. Translated as, it can't be done. When our brain latches onto the thought, I can't, what's the next step? Yeah, there isn't one. Curl up in fetal position in the corner. I guess you're done. There's nowhere to go from I can't. So let's replace it with something effective. It's another question. How can I? Ooh, do you see what that does to your brain? It turns it on. It's like there's a big power switch on the side of your brain. I can't, power off. I can, how can I? Power on. You've just invited your brain to get on it. And your brain is just dutifully waiting for instructions. So when you say, how can I? Your brain snaps to attention and says, I'm on it, Captain. I'm going to go figure out how. Awesome. Here's another one. It's not my fault. Sneaky! What we're trying to do is avoid the responsibility for something that is negative or difficult or unpleasant. The sneaky part about this is it's not about fault. It's about responsibility. In my book, Pathological Positivity, I refer to responsibility as a 2-word idea, not just the one. Responsibility. It's your ability to respond to whatever happens to you. And it's not about blame. That's what I don't like about the fault idea. That's what makes it a sneaky little thought. It's about taking responsibility. What if we were to do this instead? What part is mine? Picture this for a minute. I take a little walk from my office. I'm just going out for a little walk at lunch or whatever. Suddenly, 2 guys pull up in a car. One of them jumps out, beats me up, steals my phone and my wallet, and then he hops back in and they drive off. Okay, I'm just totally making this up. But in a scenario like that, whose fault is it? Well, that's the sneaky little thought. It's not my fault, obviously. What part is mine? What part is mine? Meaning, what did I do that led to this whole thing happening without taking the blame or accepting the fault? Well, I took a walk. Was I wrong in doing that? No. Heavens no. But that's my part. See, it's important to identify our own part in whatever it is, because that puts us in position to learn something from it, or to put it to use in a way that can be productive, instead of just saying, it's not my fault, and trying to blame someone or something else for where we are. Let's ask instead, what part is mine? That's empowering. Here's a sneaky little thought that creeps up on all of us from time to time. I need to make sure that, whatever. I need to make sure that. Sneaky! You don't control stuff. Have you noticed? A lot of things happen in the world you have zero control over. The weather, for example. Do you control the weather? No. How ridiculous would it be to say, I need to make sure that it's sunny tomorrow? Look, you're not the weather dude. You can't. You don't have that kind of control. So when we say, I need to make sure that, hey, look at where this enters into parenting. I need to make sure that my kids are happy. Really? You have the power to do that? That's just like the weather. You don't control their happiness. They do. I need to make sure that my spouse is pleased. That's not up to you either. But do you see how the sneaky little thought comes in? So what do we replace it with? Try this on instead. I don't control much about what happens in the world around me. I need to accept rather than expect. Do you hear how similar those two words are? Expect and accept. When we choose to accept the way things are, that we don't control, but we accept it. Okay, that's how it is. We feel far less disappointment than if we expect it to be a certain way and we think that it's our job to make sure that it is. Hey, you're doing a lot of things to address the way you think and to move forward in your knowledge. Would you just take a moment to subscribe? The button is right down there, and hit the notification bell while you're at it. That way you'll know exactly what's coming next. Now, here's another one of those sneaky little thoughts. Things are not the way they should be. Sneaky! Sneaky because you don't know. Do you? I mean, do you know, like you've got some cosmic connection to the grand scheme of all things somewhere, that you know exactly how things should be. You know how you would prefer them to be. But that's a whole different conversation. How should they be? What if we were to replace that thought with, things are exactly as they should be, whether I like them that way or not? And I think this is true, because things are exactly where they should be by law. I do this sometimes with my coaching clients, where I'll take a box of tissues from the end table or whatever and throw it across the room, and it ends up over there on the floor somewhere. Well, where should it be? And sometimes we have a thought, well, it should be over here on the end table. No, it should be over there on the floor. Why? Because I threw it. And the laws of gravity and physics and motion and dynamics come in, and boom, there it is. It's exactly where it should be by law, natural law, including gravity. Where do I want it to be? Well, that's a different conversation. But let's just put that into perspective. Things are exactly as they should be by law. Feels different. And that way we get past that sneaky little thought. Here's another really closely related one. I'm way behind. Sneaky! Sneaky because you don't know if you're on schedule or not. It's the exact conversation that we just had. And those two thoughts steal our joy. Things are not the way they should be, and I'm way behind. We've already replaced this one with things are exactly as they should be by law. What if we were to try a new thought over here? Instead of I'm way behind, try this. Just try it. Humor me. I'm right on schedule. In fact, will you just say that with me? You got to raise your eyebrows just a little, okay? Put a little lilt to your voice. I'm right on schedule. How does that feel? Besides goofy. I know it's a little goofy to do that exercise, but just check in with that. How would you feel if you believed it? If you really owned it? I'm right on schedule. And since you don't know for sure, pick a position. I'm thinking it could serve you better than that sneaky little thought. And here's the last one that I wanted to share with you, at least for today's video. I just want everybody to be happy. I know it seems so noble, right? Sneaky! I just want everybody to be happy. I see people getting tied in knots about that, especially parents who just want their kids to be happy, or they just want everybody to be happy, and we end up being people pleasers and trying to go out there and please everyone. I remember someone I respected very much said to me once, I don't know the secret to success, but I know the secret to failure is trying to please everyone, because it's not even possible. What can we replace that sneaky little thought with? How about this one? How other people feel is up to them. I'm responsible for how I feel. But let's just notice that sneaky little thought and that we can replace it. Let's take personal responsibility for our own feelings and quit sticking our noses into everybody else's business because how they feel is up to them. It's not up to us. Other people are responsible for their feelings. I'm responsible for mine. Okay, I know I've thrown a lot at you. Sometimes it helps to get a coach on board to help us get on top of our own sneaky little thoughts. And I've got a gift for you. A free consultation with a member of my team to see if personal coaching is right for you. Go to drpauljenkins.com/coaching and I'll set you up with a member of my team. I'll see you over there.